Hello and welcome to the Times Higher Education World University Rankings for 2013 to 14. This is the 10th year of these prestigious rankings, and they come with the global research industry bigger than ever before. More than 7 million people are engaged in academic research around the world, with over $1,000 billion spent on their work. The industry is also more international than ever before, with 40% of papers published through collaboration across borders. I'm Mishal Husain, and before we get to this year's rankings, a few words on what they're used for. Governments trust them to help shape policy, academics use them to guide partnerships and career decisions, industry and philanthropists find them useful for investment decisions, and with more than 170 million people in higher education across the world, the rankings are vital for prospective students and their families in helping them decide where to study. So now, time to look at this year's top 10. In 10th place, slipping down from 8th last year, we have Imperial College London. In 9th, up one place, it's the University of Chicago. In 8th place is the University of California, Berkeley, which has also moved up one place from 9th last year. Holding steady in 7th is the University of Cambridge, and in 6th, the same place as last year, is Princeton University. Moving on to the top 5 now, and in 5th, another institution to hold its place is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. In 4th, down 2 places, is Stanford University. In fact, Stanford has swapped places this year with its US East Coast rival Harvard, which takes joint 2nd place with the UK's top institution, the University of Oxford. And the #1 university for the 3rd consecutive year is Caltech, the California Institute of Technology. Well, with me now is Phil Baty, who's the editor of the Times Higher Education World University Rankings. Phil, how have Caltech managed it 3 years in a row?
Well, I think all the universities at the top are absolutely fantastic. They have to be scoring very highly right across the range of our indicators. But Caltech edges it on research excellence. We find that they're very small, they're very focused, which means that they can really concentrate all their resources in the areas that they're specializing in. But it's also a wonderful environment for students as well, because it's so small. The students are really rubbing shoulders with these incredibly cutting-edge scientists.
Now, this is a global list. They are the World University Rankings. And yet again, if you look at the top 10, there are only British or American universities in it.
Yeah, the US and UK, as always, dominate massively. The US has 77 universities in the top 200. The UK has 31. But it's quite a diverse bunch when you get lower down. I mean, the Netherlands have 12 universities in the top 200, Germany has 10. And actually we're finding it's much more an Asian ranking as well. The Asian universities are really marching up the table. So China now has 2 in the top 50. Singapore's universities are rising. South Korea's top institution has risen further again. So we're seeing change at the top as well.
And how are those Asian universities managing to move up like that?
Well, it's pretty basic. I think it's about money. There's no question that the Asian nations, particularly the East Asian nations, have really recognized the power of universities to drive the economy, to drive the knowledge economy. They're putting money into their universities at incredible levels. Whereas in the West, we've seen austerity hitting universities, which I think is crazy. I think you need to invest in the universities to power the innovation and the knowledge economy. And we're seeing the effects of austerity very much in these rankings across Europe. The UK's held on, but actually Germany, France, the Netherlands, Belgium, Ireland, Austria, they've all seen their top universities falling, and it really is about austerity.
So 10 years on, what is the evidence on who's using the rankings?
Well, we've really seen them emerge as a geopolitical indicator, actually. That's governments very keen about the knowledge economy, the innovation economy. They're using them now increasingly as a strategic tool. So we've seen the Indian government has targeted success in the rankings as an indicator of their competitiveness. In Japan, the same. In Russia, the same. We've been invited to Russia to talk to the ministry there about their ambitions to make their universities more competitive. So they have become this extraordinary, powerful tool for governments, but also for university leaders and for faculty to make decisions about where to collaborate and who to do business with. But I think we mustn't lose sight of the fact that these rankings were conceived as a student consumer tool. You know, students making a hugely important life decision about where to study. We're seeing more and more students globally mobile. So the rankings are very important to them to help them get the reassurance that they're making the right choice. And also particularly when they're investing so much money, often six-figure sums, that they're going to a university that's got a global recognition.
And you would say to those students, use this data, that it is user-friendly enough for them to plough through it as individuals and get what they need out of it?
Yeah, you've got the headline ranking, which is pretty crude, in fact. You know, the entire university given a single score, but we allow the students to disentangle the data, to drill beneath it, to look at teaching scores, research scores, international indicators, to look at knowledge transfer, you know, how much the university works with industry, which is important to their potential employment prospects. And we have a website that allows you to rank by subject, to have profiles of the institutions, and a free iPhone app as well. So we're really working hard to make the data transparent and to make it as useful as possible to the whole range of consumers.
Phil Baty, congratulations on this year's rankings, and thank you.
Thanks very much.
And whether you're in government, an academic, or a student thinking about their future, you can find full details of this year's rankings on the website.